also wrote the smart food for 21st century. Some people are telling only smart millets. Millets having the fiber content only in the 0.8%. If you eat this food, you know that. That's why I written smart food for 21st century. Then and also I want to thank Dr. Loganathan, heading KVK Hirali, and also Mr. Jagdish, subject matter specialist for this entire training program. I thank him for the whole KVK staff also. Then next one, these things I want a small link with the farmer's experience. Dr. Rao, you see, basically his profession is doctor. I don't know, he is competitor for me, big competitor for me. He started for growing this this dragon fruit. I written, doctor become patient to the, you should look the patients instead of he is taken as a passion for dragon fruit cultivations. You see, he has visited more than a dozen of countries only for dragon fruit cultivation, and also at any time and any depth of time is available for the farmers. No farmer will tell that his own technique to other farmer. No entrepreneur will tell his own technique to other businessmen also, because you want to survive first, then only you will teach others. But without survival of the doctor, Srinivas Rao, so he is giving for you this lecture. I thank him because now he will come. His target is I written, upcoming project I written, year-round production. That is his target.
Yes, sir.
Today, if I ask raw fruit, you will give fruit for me. If I ask raw from fruit by the month of October, because I want to maintain my partner, entrepreneur, always engaged, means I have to supply the fruits. And only he is also busy with selling the fruits. And also he is entering the value addition. And the first grade or second grade fruits are sold out, the third grade fruits are goes for the juice. So I will hand out to Dr. Srinivas Rao. He can have his experience to the off-season production and also year-round production. And whatever experience he want to teach, he can teach, he can express to this one. People can visit his orchard also. And some farmers I include only southern India. I have now included from the Maharashtra and Gujarat farmers also. Since we have taught here only. So if any farmers, any growers or any entrepreneurs I left out, please pardon me. We'll give the opportunity to share their experience. We'll give them also. Today we are handing over to the Dr. Rao to give the speech.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Srinivas. Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, thank Dr. Karunakaran sir and Mr. Jagdish to organize this panel today, and Dr. Dinesh sir, head of IIHR and ICAR. It was a pleasurable moment last year, June 24th, when we had a talk with chance of interaction with farmers across India in IIHR Tumkuru. And that was the time when like what were the efforts made by dragon fruit industry. We just know I traveled around 12 countries and to learn about dragon fruit cultivation, to learn the experiences from the farmers itself, more than research people. More than I was meeting every farmer to learn his experience. So because practical issues are something different and theoretical issues are something again different. And as Dr. Karunakaran sir told, we Deccan Exotics are working right from the planting varieties which are suitable across India, and collection of different strains or different varieties across India, and probably and to check how they grow in arid conditions, especially in the climatic conditions, especially in the Deccan region. And also to encourage the farmers to grow dragon fruits. Second thing is to make them understand the best practices. That is very important, and make it commercially viable. That is also we are focusing on. Later, plant protection, as well as giving the best quality of fruit, introduction of the fruit bags, improving the quality of fruits, and also by marketing the fruit. We are in a process to to purchase fruits from around Hyderabad, around 200 to 300 kilometer distance, so that we can pull up the fruits and brand it like a similar model of Amul. Amul is similar, very successful in Gujarat and now entire country, because the farmers are also involved in the company. So we are working on a similar model uh, with maintaining the quality of the fruit. Later, we are also working on with the processing unit. So actually, with the effect of Corona, this year the project is a little bit delayed, or else we would have already started the work for grading, packing, processing unit, so that farmers across Hyderabad or Karnataka border districts of Karnataka, districts of Maharashtra, can around 200 to 300 kilometers from Hyderabad can send their fruits, and we can create a brand and send it across India. So that is the we are in the process. Along with that, the off season, because being an entrepreneur also, they also look forward for the year round availability. The major competition now from Vietnam or other Southeast Asian countries is year round production of dragon fruit, because we get dragon fruit from Vietnam through cargo ships in a stored containers, cold storage containers, so they can supply vast amounts year round. So when we could, when we want to compete with the market of Vietnam, first is we need to work on year round availability, because when we market directly to the supermarket chains, they first ask is, can you supply us year round? So for that, we are working with the off-season production and cold chain system, so that distribution system. Even central government is providing a lot of schemes with the for the farmers, from farm to fork. There's a new concept. So even we are working with a couple of farmers around Hyderabad and the government of India on the concept, similar concept of farm to fork, so that we can procure the fruit, grade it, pack it, and send it directly to the supermarket chains. So today, my topic, as Dr. Karunakaran sir told, is off-season production. So first, we need to understand the basic concept of dragon fruit. How does it flower? So initially, dragon fruit, the plant, the stimulation of buds of flowering happens with the longer period of a day. So that is the reason Dr. Karunakaran sir was also telling that during the month of June, second, third week, where it is the largest, longest day or the duration of the sunlight, it stimulates the plant to produce flowers. So there are various research articles, journals have been, when I undergone regarding this matter. How does a plant produce flowers? There were similar pathways actually. I'll tell a very brief thing, couple of words. The longer the day, flowering occurs for dragon fruit plants, and it involves, flowering is regulated by two mechanisms. Basically, it is biochemical pathways and the genetic pathways. It is photoperiod pathway and vernalization pathway, gibberellic acid pathway, and autonomous pathway. These are like couple of pathways which stimulate the flowering, induction of the buds occur. So in which, when analysis occurred, there were auxins, gibberellic acid, brassinosteroids, and jasmoic acid. These are needed for the optimum levels. When they are reached, this produce flowers. And and especially with the sequencing of flowers, it is it happens with the help of indolic 3-acetic acid, we call it IAA. So this usually happens with the sequencing and the growth of the flowers. So not be below 15 degrees. Below 15 degrees, I do not observe any kind of flowering. Even the enzyme activity also goes down, the plant activity goes down. And we tried with multiple variants of lights. From past 2 years, I was working on this artificial lighting system. So initially, we tried with a 0-watt bulb, which were locally procured, 0-watt, 5-watt, 9-watt, 11-watt, 12, 15, 20-watt. and 40-watt normal yellow-candescent bulbs, 60-watt candescent bulbs. So after all these experiments, I placed them on the top, around 2 meters distance, in between the plants, which were falling directly on the plants. We initially, when we found with the local varieties, especially, so we found there is an outbreak of especially the fungal infections. Is it audible, sir? Are you facing any issues? Okay. Yeah. So with these issues, when we tried with various bulbs, distances, and things, we found out that especially the bulbs manufactured in India, the LED bulbs maybe, or even the normal bulbs, could cause outbreaks of fungal diseases. So our last year, my target was to remove the heat variant. So my target was to remove the heat variant. Then we removed the temperature variant. We only gave the light with insulating layer in the bulb. So we got good results. As you can see the picture back there, we had the bulbs placed on the this thing. So the flowering was good, but not totally outstanding. So 50% of the plantations, uh, the results were okay compared to the other countries. So what we took was what we came to conclusion was oxygen production in India should also keep into consideration, because we need to compete with the Southeast Asian countries to produce large amounts of dragon fruit in the off season, and also supply the study. We also have to supply steady supply to the market. Then only we can compete with the especially the Southeast Asian countries, and also gain access into supermarket shelves directly. Later, the results, I will summarize with a few results. The size of the fruit was very good. Average size we got around 400 grams, around 60 to 70%. Above 400 grams. That was very good. The color of the fruit was very good. The sweetness of the fruit was very good. So all of these, after working out with these bulbs, it was viable, and I would definitely suggest to the farmers to go for it, but only after complete R&D is over. Because as Dr. Karunakaran sir was telling, and we also faced similar issues with the fungal outbreaks with the higher temperatures when normal LED bulbs were used. It's still in the research only, and we should see the effect of the plant, the production of the fruit following subsequent season, because the fruiting we take it till February or March, but how the plant behaves in the normal season, that we need to see. And what are the stress levels of the plant, even that we need to monitor. And it is too early, because in India we are in the initial phases of production, and so please do not hurry. It's still in the R&D only, and as of now, even the season prices are good. This LED bulb technology would be viable even if the price of the dragon fruit falls to 30 rupees during the season. During the season, if the price of the dragon fruit falls, so we can remove the flowering and also use this stored food present in the plant during for the off season also. That is usual practice in Vietnam, what is they are doing. So they get higher prices. And as of now, the initial pricing of the bulbs what we imported from other countries are pretty much expensive. It is costing us 1,000 rupees per pole. So it is now expensive, and in that 60% goes to transportation and government custom duties. 50% goes to custom duties. That is a major issue. And if we can have a representation from the farmer side of dragon fruit industry, So I think definitely the government, we can have an subsidized things when we can import, or we can manufacture the bulbs locally. That is our main intention. And this year we are trying to work on that, so that we can manufacture the bulbs locally in India. The price would be around 200 rupees or 300 rupees. So it is more viable.
Dr. Srinivas Rao,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir. Hope you have completed your presentation.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you so much. We'll go for the next person, Mr. Amarnath from Tamil Nadu, right?
The Vijay is available last.
No. Yes, Amarnath.
Next
Hello.
person is leader.
Yes, Mr. Amarnath.
Please take.
Yes, sir.
You can start your presentation, or you are sharing your experience. Yeah.
Sure, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amarnath, and I run the farm